Hello, welcome. This is Monday, January 11th. We're a few minutes past 6:30. Welcome to Mystic Moon Mondays. My name is Amy, the Mystic Rose Tarot. Twice a month on Mondays of each month, I do a series that it's almost a year. Just realized it. I think it's about a year that I've been doing this, where I feature and discuss the current sign, its placement in the moon, and the phase that the moon is in, and the energy that the moon has to influence us during this time. So many of you have seen my videos, or if not, I give a brief overview of moon energy and how you can harness that energy to heal, to banish, and to draw, and to empower yourself in different aspects. The moon deals with our intuitive side, the emotional side, how we feel, how we react towards things. There are four elements and three characteristics for all the signs in the astrological cycle. So we have the four elements of fire, air, water, and earth. We have the characteristics of cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So when those characteristics and those elements come into play based on the sign, and when it moves into a certain phase of the moon, whether it's waxing or waning is when there's less light, and waxing is when light is gaining from the full moon. Waning is when we're moving towards the new moon, which we are in later on this evening, early morning in the East Coast. We are going to be in the new moon in Capricorn. The moon has already moved into Capricorn, but it will not be in its fullest, strongest position of the new moon until Tuesday. And I believe the time for that is, let's see, I believe it's 7:30 tomorrow. Until 9, 8. It's actually 9 p.m. tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time, where the moon will be in its new moon position in Capricorn, but the potent energy will be at that time. And so, as I was saying, the moon is now in Capricorn, new moon. So the energy is waning. Okay, you won't see the moon tonight. And as it transitions energy-wise and moves to its fullest potential, this is a time for, let me explain a little bit about Capricorn before I go into the full explanation. Capricorn works with structure, form, personal discipline, limitations, restriction, karmic actions, things that have been in the past, and how we deal with it now, how those actions affect us now, if they come back to repeat to us, hence Saturn's return, and how we deal with this. But the new moon, there is no light. This is a time of drawing in, looking at what has been completed. This applies to all the signs, but what changes is the element of that particular sign, its influence. We're in the earth sign of Capricorn. Okay, so Capricorn, again, discipline, restrictions. It's also time just to hone things down. I just did a video for our last decan for the month of Capricorn, and the card of influence, the minor arcana card of influence related to the third decan, is the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me show you the moon card that represents the new moon in Capricorn, and then I will go alongside and explain the Four of Pentacles and its energy. Also, the major arcana card archetype of influence for Capricorn is the devil. So we'll discuss all these different variants. Okay, so this is from the Moon Oracle deck from Caroline Smith and John Astrop. And here we see the phases. Okay, so we see as the moon's waxing, it's first quarter, so it's gaining light. Here we are in the full, and this is when we start going into the waning stages. And this is where we are right now. Okay, so this is a dormant stage. This is economy. And the best way to explain economy is how to work with our time, utilizing our time carefully, and using that time to really look at what has been completed thus far. The Four of Pentacles. Again, this is relating to the third decan of Capricorn, our last week. Four of Pentacles is just that. We're seeing structure. We're seeing things that we have created, what we've worked on, the concept, and it's already having its foundation. It's already in its first stage of growth. This is the time that you don't change. You let things stay as they are. So in doing so, let's use our time wisely and work with what we have. It's not a time of action. The new moon is a time of stillness. And it's not till we get into probably closer to 1.5, 2 days when we start getting that crescent, that tiny little sliver, looks like this in the moon, where the moon is waxing. It's starting to gain light. It's at that time that you could start harnessing energy, start making movement to continue on your progress, start making movement for actions for the final outcome. And the same with the moon after it's in its full moon stage. Okay, full moon is the accomplishment, everything that has been put into, it's at its fullest state. That's the successful aspect. Okay, you're building, you're waxing energy. Again, 1.5, 2 days after the new moon, you start building up that energy. It's increasing. You get to the full moon. It's there. Everything has been completed. If it has not been fully completed and you feel like there is more work that needs to be done, work with that energy. Again, it's placed, the moon is placed of influence where the sign is. Okay, so depending where the full moon is going to be, let me look here. Okay, so we're our new moon in Capricorn. Our full moon will be in Leo on January 28th. So we're going to be going through the signs of Capricorn, which we are right now, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Cancer, and then Leo. So in these 2 weeks, these 2.5 weeks, as the moon is waxing, it will be going through these signs from Capricorn all the way down or all the way up to Leo when it's in its full moon stage. And Leo, as we know, full moon-wise, is a proud placement for the moon. This is a time where you start showing off what you've done. You're very proud. It's a time to promote, start showing what you've achieved. So as we go from this sign of Capricorn to Leo, watch the phases of the moon as it's waxing. Use the influence of the signs and its waxing stages to the full moon and use it to your own benefit. Okay, this is a time of increasing power, increasing light. Emotionally, we will feel these shifts as we invest our time into what we're working on. and that includes ourselves, people that we are interacting with, if there's a relationship, business or personal, start bringing that energy. Okay, but for now, as the moon wanes and as we are in the new moon, it's a time to just look at changes that may need to be done, but don't do it now. New moon is a time of inaction. The only action that you're doing during an active time is you're exploring the next steps that need to be done. Okay, so you're putting thought, emotionally, how you feel about what's going on at the time. Do not take action at this time until the moon starts waxing. And again, that's about 1.5, 2 days after the new moon. And the same energy applies to the full moon. If you're trying to get rid of something, don't do it during the full moon. Wait as the energy starts waning. And you do the release at the time of the new moon. Start putting the direction of something that you want to release as the moon is in its waning stage. And the same concept, look at the sign and the phase of the waning moon, sign that moon is in, and use that energy to start releasing, to start healing. Of any pain, any discomfort that you have, start making those steps while the moon is waning. And again, that's about 1.5 to 2 days after the moon has gone in its full moon stage and starts waning. You can start putting that energy to release. And then come the time of the new moon, like we are right now, you release, you let go. And there is that time in between the full moon and the new moon. As I mentioned, there's 1.5 to 2 days. Don't do any action just yet. It's a time of contemplation. It's a time of thinking. Okay. And then once you get that energy as the moon is waning, you make those actions. So I mentioned about the devil in relation to the influence of Capricorn. Okay. And I have 2 cards. They both represent the devil from different decks. The 2 decks that I selected to choose the devil cards from is the Lunar Tarot, which I tend to work with most of my readings with clients. And then the other deck that I have is the Pagan Netherworlds. And what's interesting about these 2 is what we know about the devil. The devil deals with insecurities, attachments, addictive behavior, things we're being held by our own anguish. Okay, and the devil is ruled by Saturn. Okay, discipline, restriction, limitations. So what's interesting too about these cards, okay, this is the Lunar Tarot, and this is the Pagan Netherworlds. What's interesting is we have a very abstract form here with the Lunar Tarot. And here we have the devil. Okay, we could clearly see it's a figure. The horns indicate it's a devil or darker animal, creature-like instincts that we have. And then I'm going to put this down here. If you look closely, we have the faces. This is almost the self-assimilating of our own demons. And this is what we're seeing that's growing out from the devil. Capricorn's very strict. They have a way of doing things. Okay, they are a mutable sign. So they are a cardinal sign. So they are great at getting things started, and they have their direction. You cannot steer them away from it. They are an earth sign, so that gives them that stability. They need to have a stable foundation to do all this work. But when you get lost in what you're doing, getting overwhelmed with all those energies and whatnot, you start sacrificing parts of yourself that you don't realize. And things start becoming a bit more abstract here, like we see in the Devil card. Okay. This card, when I first saw this, the only thing I could attest to it being the devil are the horns. It looks like it's reared up on its hind legs. And then there's the Capricorn symbol built in here. But there's an abstract energy to it. It's almost, there's like an uncertainty and unclarity about things that we are not really seeing for what it is. And here, these are almost like the karmic faces, things that we have done in the past, has been assimilated within us. And we have to come to terms with it. It becomes part of the darker side of who we are. And we have to let go of this. We have to release this. And the devil here, this is almost like the inside out. Okay, we're starting to see these faces peeking through this devilish character. And this devil is who we are. And then here is it's almost like the inner part, the part that we haven't really yet discovered yet, the unseen, the unclear, again, the word comes to me, the abstract. Here we have some flowers. We have a nice setting, somewhat nice setting, but we're in a nice environment, but there's still aspects of ourselves that we're not seeing. And that becomes an issue. And we become a slave to ourselves. And this comes through working hard, being workaholic, self-destruction that we may not be aware of. So with the moon in Capricorn, it's a wonderful placement because there's no light. It allows this time of solitude, stillness, to be grounded, to have no distractions, and just to be still. And just feel what's going on within you. Do you feel part of these faces are starting to pop out? Do you feel like a darker side is making itself revealed? Karmic faces, that need to be dealt with and assimilated, entirely assimilated. So, with the moon in its darkest phase coming tomorrow, 9 p.m., between now and that time, I think right now the moon's at about 2% from what I saw in my phone app, and it's going to be decreasing very slowly until tomorrow where it's complete darkness. It's already dark outside, but just the energy. Use the time between now, that 2% energy of the new moon, and start thinking about what needs to be released, what needs to be confronted within yourself. And by releasing those energies, the restrictions, the things that are calling you to distract you away from your purpose, use the time to address it, face those ugly challenges that you see. It will be hard, but with Capricorn, I feel has that strength to face challenges. They face challenges in the external realm, in the worldly realm, through work, interaction with people. But they're very direct. They go in, let's get the job done. I feel Capricorn can handle these demons, as long as they're being honest and real about what's going on and realizing the anguish, the distraction, these aspects that are holding you back. You have to let go of those because they're just going to continue to hold you back. It takes time. Okay, granted, it's not going to happen overnight during a new moon cycle or a full moon cycle or the phases in between, but you could start making those steps. And also what's really important is to start journaling. Start journaling the transitions. If you want to be honest with yourself and make these moves to better yourself, do so. Okay. Also, just for house placement, Capricorn rules the 10th house. Okay. So career-wise, you can see aspects of this, of, why am I being stuck in a certain direction that's not preventing me to move forward? You could be doing everything that you feel is possible. You're networking, you are making the strides to further create advancement in your career, but there's something that's still holding you back. Okay, and surface-wise, you could go, you're doing everything, but what's holding you back could also be what's going on. And again, this applies back to the Devil card. Okay, so it's a time, again, just to reflect. It's a perfect time to do this. Okay. And like I said, if you're looking for work or you already have a career and things seem to be going okay, but they need to go further, let's use this Four of Pentacles. Okay, Four of Pentacles is showing what has been worked on, the direction that you have been moving on is all in place. You're making the right choices, you're doing right actions, things are good. Do not change anything during this time, especially in the new moon. Look, see if any shifts need to be done. I think I had mentioned it earlier. Make these changes once the moon starts waxing in about 2 days. The moon will be in, I believe, Aquarius. Okay, and Aquarius is a wonderful influence for those because it involves a different way of thinking, seeing a situation differently, turning the tables if you feel you have to. If you're feeling like, okay, I have the structure, but I need to do something a little different, use the energy of the moon in Aquarius as it's waxing. Okay, it's gaining light. It's not at its fullest potential. So if you make drastic changes, you may not feel the potency yet because that moon energy, the light is still gaining. It's still waxing. But you could still make steps towards that, as I mentioned. So when the light goes into the full moon stage as it waxes, that's when your ideas come to full fruition. And things will feel right. Listen to yourself instinctually as you're going through this. Okay. Again, the moon deals with our inner self, our subconscious self. How we intuitively, instinctively connect with what's going on. That's the beauty of the moon. I'd like to see more people to understand the moon energy and how you can actually use that to heal. There's a lot of temperament, a lot of uncertainty, an overabundance of moon energy, a lot of emotions, depending on the placement of that moon. If you have an abundance of emotions, if you're overly emotional, very fiery, let's say moon in Scorpio. I love moon in Scorpio because that isn't my moon sign, but Scorpio deals with the deep, intuitive instinctual, spiritual side. So when the moon's in Scorpio, I feel, for me, my practice becomes more intense. And Scorpio is a fixed sign. So when I feel that phase, I feel that draw. No one can pull me away from it to delve deeper into my practice. And the more you delve deeper in your practice, the more you grow, the more you understand. It's wanting to know. It's that mysterious blackness that Scorpios like. They feel comfortable in the dark. That's their strength. And they do find answers. Becomes an adventure for them. So watch that. Watch as the signs ebb and flow throughout the phases, and use those influences. So again, this is our card for our full moon, for our new moon in Capricorn. Okay, so let's use our time wisely right now. No actions. It's time just to look at what's been done, and a time to consider any changes that need to be done. Going back here again, Four of Pentacles, we have our structure, we have our bases. As above, so below. We have the balance, we have harmony. What do we need to do to maintain this? What energy, what aspects, what perspectives do we need to maintain this, to keep it going? And then, of course, we have the Devil. I'll show both Devil cards. They're both abstract in their own way. Okay, here this is very abstract, again, with the exception of the Capricorn symbol, dealing with our uncertainties, things that aren't clear, any addictive behavior, anything obsessive, any attachments, time to really bring those out. And then here, the Devil, the same thing. These are our karmic faces. That's the best way I can interpret this card. It's what we've assimilated from the past and still have not come to terms to deal with it. We have to let go of this. This is what we look like inside, karmically, if we haven't dealt with this. People pick up on the darker side of energy. Some people do, and they can realize this person has a really intense past because they have not dealt with it. You can tell people with bright energy and light energy. People with light energy, they're working, they're releasing, they're letting go. People with dark energy, they have their attachments. They have that fear. They're holding on. And all these cards, the Devil, the Tower, all these cards that hold heavy energy, the Death card, I tell people there is no fear. These are lessons to learn from in the major arcana. The new moon, you go outside, it's dark, you can't see anything. And I don't see that as a fear thing. I may go outside, it's like, oh, I can't see anything. My sense of perception is obviously not clear. And that's the immediate reaction. But if you keep still and settle into that darkness, you'll start feeling things. It's like someone who's blind, someone who's sight impaired. They can't see, they can sense, maybe depending on the severity, they can sense if something is bright or dark. But for them, their world is different. So their hearing, other senses become heightened. So when you go out in the dark, the new moon, you feel things more. Things become more intensified. When it's full moon, it's bright. You feel secure because you have light. You have that guidance. Things are empowered at that time. But in the new moon, things are quite the opposite. You are a Scorpio. Yeah, so you understand. Thank you, Pearl, for your comment. I only have Scorpio on one planet. Everything else, that's the only sign I have of Scorpio in my chart. And I enjoy its placement because it's in a planet where it deals with, it's in Neptune. It deals with spirituality, mystery, enjoying being in the unknown. And I've been like that ever since I was a kid. I always like to know. I like to know the secrets of things or try to understand it. So the tarot oracle is a perfect source for me because, you do a reading. Every reading's going to provide different insight. So it's wonderful. And you gain from it. You don't know until you pull cards out and you learn from that. You learn from that unknown experience and seeing the results. And then with the results, you have the guides as to how to move forward. So it's wonderful. So that's our new moon in Capricorn. And I will be back, I believe I said the 28th. I should keep this book open because I feel I'm not going to make reference to it, and I always do. Okay, so the full moon, we're going to be in the sign. Well, the full moon is not going to be in the sign of Capricorn, but we will be in the sun sign of Aquarius. Full moon is going to be in Leo, Thursday the 28th. So I do Mystic Moon Mondays on Mondays because of my schedule. So I'll probably do it either on the 25th or maybe jump ahead on the 1st, which will place January 25th as the moon waxing, but in the sign of Gemini, or on the 1st, which is February 1st, Monday, which is in Virgo. And at that point, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 days into its waxing stage, or from its waxing stage, it'll be waning. And so I'll see. I always make this announcement when I want to do it, and I realize that the full moon isn't close to a Monday. So I will do a post, and I will share when I will do it. But yeah, if you've seen my videos, you kind of see a pattern as to how to follow with the moon energy, depending on its phases and the sign that it's in. We're going to be, as I mentioned, after this, from Capricorn, we're going to move into Aquarius. And I think that's on Wednesday or Thursday. And so we're moving from a time of stillness and looking within, dealing with our own inner demons, if you will, to the crescent phase of the moon. And in Aquarius, I'll show you the card really quickly because I will not be doing a reading for this. We have idea, okay? As we know with Aquarius, they have ideas that are profound if you really pay attention. They have a strong belief. Aquarius is a fixed air sign, so once they have that concept, that idea set, they believe it, and they make sure that people know about it. As bizarre as it is, or as insightful or enlightening it is, they focus on the ideas. So if you have a moon in Aquarius, this is a good time to really, if you're working on a project, book, anything creative, musically, this is the time to really use the energy as the moon is gaining more light. Fine tune, work on those concepts. And you will probably feel it if you are sensitive to the moon, especially if your moon's in Aquarius. So I don't know if anyone has any other questions. I usually, after I do my discussion about moon energy and moon work, I open up the chat. Viewers, if they would like to have a reading, I can do a quick reading. If not, I will end it here and then come back in about 2 weeks or so to do the next Mystic Moon Monday reading. I'm thinking about changing this up a bit and moving this in a different direction. I'm not certain yet. I'm not going to initiate anything at this time, but I want to see where I can take this Mystic Moon Monday concept and apply it in a different realm, because I cover all the phases, the energy, the sign placements, so on and so forth. So I think that's as far as I can go with this, and I bring in the astrological cards that influence these particular signs and the phases of the moon that they're in. So I'll see about that. I do have a video that's going to be posting tomorrow where I talk about the decans. I do this almost every 10 days or so. A decan, astrological decans, represent around 7 to 10 days of each astrological sign. So we have the first decan, second decan, and third decan. We are in the third decan, which represents the last 7 to 10 days of the current sign of where we are right now in Capricorn. So if you look at that tomorrow, I talk about the card of influence, the tarot card of influence, the keyword to focus on for that week, and also the planetary influence of that planet with that sign. So right now it's Ceres and Capricorn. I have to emphasize the planet placements in the signs of these cards for the decans are fixed. It doesn't mean that's where that planet is at this time. So take a look at it. I explain it a little bit further in the video I'll post tomorrow in the morning. And then I'm really excited about this. I haven't done this in years. I do not know how I'm going to do this, but I will give it my best shot because I don't have a second camera. I'm trying to do, not trying, I will. I want to do a post of 2021 Wheel of the Year. And I have a limited offer right now on my website where you can choose between 2 ways of me doing the Wheel of the Year reading. A Wheel of the Year is the astrological signs in the 12-month astrological cycle, starting from January ending to December. So what I do is I have that one, and then I have a Wheel of the Year that's catered more to the Wiccan pagan Sabbats of the year. So that's more of a seasonal reading, which I'm really excited about because I haven't done this before, and I have 2 decks that I'm going to work with specifically for that. So we have Imbolc that's coming up in February. Then we have Austera, and then we have Beltane, which brings us into the first 3 seasons towards spring, and then we have summer, and then we have the harvest season, and then we go into fall, and then we go into winter. But we have 8 Sabbats that I will do this Wheel of the Year reading specifically for those who honor those seasons, for those who have a pagan Wiccan belief or practice. I can do this reading specifically for that. And then astrologically, it's 12 cards that go through each month. And it's a general overview. Gives you an overview of how the month of January is looking for you, February, March, so on and so forth. So the Wheel of the Year readings I'm going to be doing, I'm going to try and post it on Wednesday. I'm going to work on it tonight as soon as I'm done here. Will be my own personal readings. So how my 2021 is going to be looking from January to December, and the Witch's Wheel of the Year from the Sabbath seasonal wise. I want to compare and see what I get. So this will be my own personal reading that I'll be sharing with you. And so I'm hoping to have that on Wednesday already posted. Maybe I'll do it live. I don't know, give my interpretations live. So So that's it. If anyone does or does not have questions, please state so in the chat. I'll wait about a minute or two. If not, I'm going to sign off. And again, I will be back in a few weeks. So keep an eye. My channel is small. I'm slowly working on it and getting it out there. So please join me as I explore different aspects of the tarot and decks that I work with and different systems. Astrology is what I'm focusing on right now. So we will see. So I think that's it. If there's no questions, thank you so much for watching. This is Amy, the Mystic Rose Tarot. All my information's in the description, how to reach me. Again, I have my limited offer for the Witch's Wheel of the Year and the Astrological Wheel of the Year. They're at a discounted rate. I may extend that. I have this offer expiring on the 15th, so I could take advantage of still the first few weeks of January, but I may extend it to the end of the month. I'll see. So thank you again for watching. Appreciate your support. Any questions, feel free to reach me via my website, here on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, and I look forward to connecting with you all again. Have a wonderful night, day, week, and I will be in touch again.